Students, today we will start the topic fluid mechanics. First, we will see what is meant by fluid mechanics. Fluid mechanics is the branch of physics that deals with the fluid which are in motion. Okay, first we will see the pressure in a fluid. The pressure in a fluid is due to the motion of atoms or molecules collide continuously with the walls of the container. That means in a container there are liquid atoms or molecules. They are in continuous collision with the walls or with them. Okay. It is defined as the magnitude of the normal force which is applied by the fluid, as we seen here that it motion of atoms or molecule collide continuously with the wall of the container acting per unit surface area. Okay, the formula of pressure is force upon area. The units are Pascal. Now the unit conversions are, and Pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. The next, 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power of 5 pascals. Atmospheric pressure. It is the pressure exerted by the atmosphere on the liquid molecules, and it is represented as P naught or P ATM we can represent, and the value is 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 pascals. Okay, 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 pascals. As we seen here, 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power 5 pascals. So we can write it as 1.013 bar or 760 torr. Now the pressure is a scalar quantity because it acts perpendicular to any surface in the liquid, no matter how the surface is oriented. That means the pressure acts normal to the or perpendicular to the surface in the liquid, but it does not depends upon the surface. Either it is a horizontal or vertical, it is tilted to an angle. Okay. Now we have a relation between gauge pressure, absolute pressure and atmospheric pressure. This gauge pressure is equal to absolute pressure minus atmospheric pressure. Gauge pressure. Now we will see what is mean by gauge pressure. Gauge pressure is excess pressure above the atmospheric pressure. That means above the atmosphere there is an additional pressure. It is called gauge pressure. And under the sum of the total excess pressure and the atmospheric pressure gives out the absolute pressure. Now we will see a case that the force exerted by the liquid molecules on the bottom surface of the container is enough to break. It means in a container, the force exerted by the liquid molecules on the container, bottom side of the container is equal to the breaking force, but it does not break because the upward force by the underside of the bottom surface. That means the upward force of the upward force by the underside, that means below the bottom surface, is same as that of the force exerted by the fluid. That's why it won't break or collapse. Okay, we have completed the pressure topic. Now density. Density means mass per unit volume, simple. And it is represented as density is equal to mass by volume in mathematical expression. The units are kg per meter cube. Now relative density. We want to find out the density. Relative. That means is the substance thicker or thinner or more denser than the water or the other substances. We will compare. Now we will take the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius as the comparing one to that of liquid or solid we want to measure. So density of liquid or solid upon density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Now density of water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1000 kg per meter cube. Now we have a case that in which two mixtures, two or more liquids are mixed. First case, that the two liquids of densities D1 and D2 and mass M1 and M2 are mixed. But here the volume is not given. So we want to find out the density. Okay. Here in the place of volume, we have kept that density is equal to mass. Volume is equal to mass by density. Okay. Volume is equal to mass by density. So V1 is equal to M1 by D1 and V2 is equal to M2 by D2. This is the formula. For suppose if two liquids having the same masses are mixed with different densities, then the final density will become 2 D1 D2 by D1 plus D2. Now next case 2, in which two liquids have D1 and V2 and having volume V1 and V2. Then densities of the mixture is D1 V1, D2 V2 are mixed. Then D1 V1 plus D2 V2 upon D1 V1 plus V2. For suppose if volume V1 and V2 are equal, then V is equal to V1 plus V2. Now what is the effect of temperature and pressure on density? We will see. First, temperature. As we have know that the density is inversely proportional to volume. So volume is directly proportional to temperature. And volume is directly proportional to temperature. So density is also inversely proportional to temperature. So we can conclude that if the temperature increases, the mass remains same. It does not have an effect on mass. Okay. Then volume will increase and density decreases. So the equation is D dash, that is final density, is equal to D upon 1 plus gamma. Here gamma means the liquid coefficient of expansion and delta T represents the change in temperature. Now what happens if there is a pressure effect? As we have know that volume and pressure are indirectly proportional. So density and pressure are directly proportional. Okay. Now density, we have a relation about volume and the bulk modulus. So we have the density, the relationship is the change in volume is equal to change in pressure upon volume. Bulk modulus. So here delta D dash is equal to density initial upon 1 plus delta P. Here delta P is change in pressure, B is bulk modulus. Okay students, now let us see the variation of pressure with the depth. Now consider a liquid of density D is kept in a cylindrical vessel of height h, and we get at the bottom of the surface. And now the pressure at the bottom of the surface by the liquid is rho gh, because the height is of the cylindrical vessel is h. Okay, now total pressure. Total pressure means the pressure at the bottom by liquid and by the atmosphere is the total pressure, that is P0 plus rho gh. Now for suppose in a liquid column there are 2 points A and B and are situated at H1 and H2 below the free surface. So H1 is the height from the surface and H2 is the H1 plus H from the surface, having different H, they are saying. Then the pressure difference is the pressure difference between 2 points, that is PB minus PA is equal to rho GH, or we can write it as PB minus PA is equal to rho G into H2 minus H1. Now we have completed the variation of pressure with the depth. Now we will discuss the Pascal's law. What is Pascal's law? Pascal's law states that pressure applied to an enclosed liquid. That means if we apply pressure to an enclosed fluid, the pressure is transmitted to every portion equally and to the walls of the container. I will say again that if we apply pressure to an enclosed fluid, it transmits to every portion of the liquid and walls of the container equally. Now the application is hydraulic lift. So it is the application of the Pascal law. Consider, for suppose for an area A1 the force is P1 and for an area A2 the force is F2. Then the pressure is same on both the areas. So we can write it as F1 upon A1 is equal to F2 upon A2. Now if we have the case that if A2 is greater than A1 and F2 is greater than F1, this is the common case because the pressure is same. So force is directly proportional to the area. Now we have seen the Pascal's law. Now we will see how we measure the pressure. We have two devices, that is barometer and second one is manometer. Barometer is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. Now as we know that the pressure at the same height of two surfaces will be same. So we can say that P1 and P2 are equal. So we can know that P1 is the atmospheric pressure and P2 is the pressure exerted at the bottom of the container by the liquid. So we can say P0 is equal to rho GH. In the barometer tube, we take mercury as the barometric fluid because it has great density, and we can say the atmospheric pressure is directly proportional to the height of the mercury column as we seen here. P0 is equal to rho GH. So P0 is equal to directly proportional to H. Now the manometer. It is used to find the pressure of a gas inside the container, while the barometer is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. Now the barometer consists of a container and a U-shaped tube. In the U-shaped tube, we take mercury as the liquid. Now from the above, we see that as the two surfaces of same height, they have same pressure. So P1 on the one side is equal to P2. Here P2 is the side of the atmospheric pressure plus the height. We want to find out the pressure and we will see that P1 is equal to P2. So P of this gas present in the container is equal to atmospheric pressure plus rho GH. If we get the formula as P not plus rho GH as, because one of the vertical surfaces of the U-shaped tube directly in contact with the atmosphere. Okay. Now we have completed about the pressure and the measurement of the pressure. Now we will see the atmospheric pressure. Archimedes principle. Now we states that a body wholly or partially submerged in a liquid experience an upward force which is equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. So we can see that if we place a body in a fluid, either it is partially or completely submerged, and it experiences an upward force that is equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. So F upward is equal to, as we know that weight is equal to mg, and we know that mass is equal to density into volume, and density is for the liquid and volume is for the solid. So upward force vertical, so the upward force acts vertically upwards to the center of gravity of the displaced fluid. Now the apparent weight of, now we want to find out what is apparent weight inside a liquid of body. Now it is apparent weight is equal to weight of the solid, density of the solid, that is the for the block, into G, minus weight volume of the solid, density of the liquid, and G. And W apparent is equal to, after solving all, we get conclusion that W apparent is equal to W actual into 1 minus density of the liquid by density of the solid. Okay, we have completed the Archimedes principle and we have the 3 cases and a lift case. Okay, first case, if density of the solid is less than the density of the liquid. So here it is the negative term. So the weight apparent will greater than the weight actual. So the body will floats. 1 second, here less density is greater than, so it becomes positive. Minus, so positive is negative. So weight of apparent is less than, so it floats, because if the body has less weight, it will float, and it will, and if it has the and it has the same density, so it will become equal. So it is floats but completely submerged. Now the third case is, if the density of the solid is greater than that of density of the liquid, the body sinks. This is the cases. Now we will see the buoyant force in aggregating fluid in a lift. From the formula, F is equal to Vs into rho L into G, we replace G as G effective. If lift go up, it is G plus Ca. That means buoyant force increases. If lift goes down, G effective is equal to G minus A. Now if lift is freely falling, then G effective is equal to 0, and this is the reason why freely falling vessel filled with some fluid, so the air bubble does not rise up. Now we have completed the fluids in motion. Let's revise what we have discussed. Now we have discussed the pressure in a liquid. The pressure in a liquid is due to the motion of atoms or molecules collide continuously with the walls of the container. And the magnitude is force upon area. Units are Pascal. And the unit conversion is 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square is equal to 10. This is the unit conversion, and 1 bar is equal to 10 power 5 Pascal. Atmospheric pressure P-atm is equal to 1.013 into 10 power 5 Pascal. That is 1.013 bar. That is 760 torr. Pressure is a scalar quantity because it acts normal to the surface of the area, but it does not depend on the how it is oriented, either it is horizontal or vertical. Okay. The gauge pressure is equal to absolute pressure minus atmospheric pressure. Gauge, what is meant by gauge pressure? Gauge pressure is the excess pressure above the atmospheric pressure. The total pressure is absolute pressure. Now we know that the density of the pressure by the liquid on the walls, on the bottom wall of the container, is enough to break, but the underside upward force of the bottom surface is same to the downward force by the liquid, so it won't break or collapse. Now the density of the liquid. The formula is mass upon volume, and the units is kg per meter cubed, and the relative density The formula of relative density is density of water, density of liquid or substance upon density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Now the density of water is 10 to 10 power of cube or 1000 kg per meter cubed for the mixture of 2 or more liquids. Okay, okay. Now Now here D1 and D2 are the two liquids and mass is M1 and M2. And the density of the mixture is M1 plus M2 upon M1 by D1 plus M2 upon D2 because volume is equal to mass by density. What happens if M1 is equal to M2 is equal to M? Then the final density D is equal to 2 D1 D2 upon D1 plus D2. Next, the second case is two liquids of densities D1 and D2 and mass and volumes of V1 and V2 are mixed. Then the density of the mixture is D is equal to D1 V1 plus D2 V2 upon V1 plus V2. What happens if V1 and V2 are equal? Then the final density volume will become V1 plus V2 by 2. Okay. Sorry, here then D is equal to D1 plus D2 by 2. Now the effect of temperature and pressure on density. Temperature. If temperature increases, the mass remains same as the volume is increased and the density of the liquid decreases. Now D dash is equal to D by 1 plus gamma into delta T. Pressure. If pressure increases, the mass remains same. The volume is decreased and the density of the liquid decreases. Equation. D dash is equal to D upon 1 plus delta P by B. Variation of the pressure with the depth. A liquid of density D is kept at rest in a cylindrical vessel of height h. We get pressure at the bottom by liquid is rho GH. And total pressure by the liquid and atmosphere at the bottom is P0 plus rho GH. Now, if a liquid column has 2 points A and B and situated at H1 and H2 respectively, then and separated at height H, then the pressure difference is Pb minus Pa is equal to rho GH. Pascal's law. It states that the pressure applied to an enclosed fluid is transmitted to every portion of the liquid and walls of the container. That means if we apply pressure to an enclosed fluid, the pressure will transmit to every portion of the fluid and to the walls of the container. Now, hydraulic lift. It is the application of the Pascal's law. For suppose if we apply force F1 on an area A1 and for area A2 the force is F2 and the pressure is same because Pascal's law statement. So we can write it as F1 upon A1 is equal to F2 upon A2. So if area is greater, the force is greater. Now the measurement of the pressure. We have two devices to measure the pressure, that is barometer and manometer. First we will see the barometer. It is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. As the two surfaces are of same height, they have the same pressure. So P1 is equal to P2 and P0 is equal to rho GH. We always take mercury as a barometer fluid because of the great density, and the atmospheric pressure P0 is directly proportional to the height of the mercury column. Now we will see the manometer. Now manometer is used to find out the pressure of the gas inside the container. Now it consists of a container and a U-shaped tube. And in the U-shaped tube we take mercury. As the two surfaces are of same height, we want to find out the pressure. And their pressure is same. So P is equal to P naught plus rho GH. Because one of the vertical surface of U-shaped tube directly in contact with the atmosphere. Now, Archimedes principle. It states that a body wholly or partially submerged in in a fluid experiences an upward force equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. Now, for WF is equal to mg. M is equal to density into volume. Here, density is for the liquid and volume is for the displaced solid into acceleration due to gravity. The upthrust vertically upwards acts vertically upwards to the center of gravity of the displaced fluid. Now the apparent weight inside a liquid. W apparent is equal to, for solid minus liquid, Vs rho L G minus Vs rho L into G. W apparent is equal to W actual into 1 minus dl by ds. Cases: if dl is less than ds, body floats partially. If dl is equal to dl, ds is equal to dl, then body floats but completely submerged. If ds is greater than dl, body will sinks. Now buoyant force in aggregating fluid in a lift. We have the formula as we seen in the Archimedes principle statement. In the place of G, we replace G effective. So if lift goes up, it is G plus A. If lift goes down, it is G minus A. And if the lift is freely falling, then the G effective is 0. And that is the reason why in the accelerating fluid there are no in the freely falling vessel filled with some fluids, there are no bubbles, air bubbles, because the lift is freely falling and the G effective is 0. So the buoyant force is also 0. Okay students, that's all for today.